Apostolos writes to me and he says, "Hi, Paul. I'm really thrilled with the Eemian project." Well, thank you, sir. "How is the book coming? And what's your take on the lost Atlantis legend? Do you think it stems back from the Eemian era? A huge fan of your PS Audio and your YouTube channels, Apostolos." Well, let's start with where we are in getting this book to market. As many of you, and I appreciate you being here, following me day to day as we go on about our project, I have been waiting and searching for the right narrator. And the reason, I know a lot of you were very much on to me about, you should read it yourself, Paul. You did a great job in your memoir, 99% true. Thank you. You should read it because it's your book. And that's true. But unlike my memoir, which was not only my book, but it was about me, I think, and I think very strongly about this, we need a narrator who can act. And I'm not an actor. I stand here and talk to you, and this isn't an act, it's just me. I put a camera up and I sit up here and I babble for 5 or 10 minutes, and there you have it, done. There's no acting going on. I don't think I could be an effective actor. I mean, if you think about it, actors are amazing. Actors can, I mean, we buy into them, right? I mean, you look at Jean-Luc Picard. He was, every time I see Patrick Stewart, he's Jean-Luc Picard. But of course he's not, he's an actor. He just got into that role and he played that role beautifully. So I need somebody that can take the main characters in the Aurora Project, which is Sam and Julia and crazy Professor Satsky, our bad guy Uziel, and the occasional entry of Sam's father, Magnus, and of course the rock, the bedrock of it, John Grimes. John Grimes, who raised Sam Sawyer in the oil fields of Texas because Sam's father, Magnus, did not want him, did not want to be able to, he didn't know how to raise him. So John Grimes, who reminds me kind of a John Wayne or a Samwise Gamgee in the Hobbit, just down to earth, bigger than life guy. He's kind of our rock. Those people have such color when we wrote them. When I wrote them, of course I've had tons of help, but when we wrote those characters, they are filled with personality. And I can't really do that. I can write it, but I can't really pull it off. So I wanted an actor who would immerse himself in the role, somebody who's a great character actor, and I found the guy. I found the guy, Eduardo Ballerini. Look him up. Edoardo Ballerini, Ballerini, I think. He's an actor, been in about 50 movies, really good. The New York Times called him the voice of God. You don't do better than that, right? So Eduardo is going to jump into this feet first. I've already written all the character stuff out to tell him who these people are, and he's going to study them, and he'll become the characters. When he reads it to you, all of a sudden you're going to say, I know this person. That's what I want. And hey, this is a big commitment. This guy's a real pro, and these pros don't come cheap, I tell you. But I just think it's super important that I search the world over, find the very best talent that I can that fits it, and we did it. So we hope to launch in March. So, okay, Atlantis. I think there are a number of stories that could well have come from the Eemians. We've all seen the circle story, right? There's a circle of people sitting around, and I whisper something. The rabbit jumped up and down and said, "Hey, you," and his feet were blue. By the time that story gets around back to me, it's completely different. And that's because every time somebody tells a story, they add a little this, a little that, they take away this, they take away that. So imagine 100,000 years ago, during the Eemian, we had technologically advanced people who had a civilization, and for centuries, maybe thousands of years, it flourished, as did 100,000 years later, entire civilizations that we're just now finding out about. And those were only a few thousand years ago. And I think those get passed down person to person to person as stories. And a story develops around it. Atlantis. I mean, first off, there could well have been an Atlantis. In the near Greece, there is clear evidence of a giant earthquake that probably swallowed up some islands, and that could have been Atlantis. Who knows? But the stories grow. And I think there's a good possibility that some story like that has been carried from generation to generation. There's been, 5,000 generations of people since the Eemian? So I'm like the 5,000th ancestors of my Eemian relatives. I don't know. If anything survives from that, my DNA does. Maybe it's buried in there. I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited about the narrator. I wanted to share it with you. Thanks for being with me along on this journey. I'll talk to you tomorrow.